Welcome back to the third game of the first series. This is only the first series, sorry, and we're getting through to a full 3 games here. Excuse me, one move and Amiga needing this to keep themselves in Division 1 and going all the way through to 3 games. One move in that first game looked so clean, so just precise. Nemiga making a couple of mistakes, but in the second game, the complete reverse. Nemiga looking really clean with the Ursa pick, and all of a sudden, we get ourselves to the third game. Nemiga find the confidence, find the ability out of nowhere to push this one through, take it all the way to the death here, and one move. How are they going to be feeling coming into this third game after that second game going so comfortable in the favor of Nemiga?
I think it's really hard to really easy to
remaining.
pinpoint the problem in the previous game. So you say, okay, guys, we didn't have enough
5
aggression,
seconds
we didn't have
remaining.
enough damage. Let's switch that up in the draft. Stop talking about it. So they can
Radiant
reset. Of
team
course, it's not
back.
gonna be feeling like you're one game ahead because you're one game from losing the series now. But you're still gonna be relatively fine. So and they switch it up immediately again. We're going to be seeing a Primal Beast versus the Ember, which, in terms of CS in the lane, didn't go too well for the Ember
10
last time. But
seconds
Aincrad, he
remaining.
says, this time around, I'm going to do even better, guys. Give it to me.
Yeah,
5
and
seconds remaining.
Primal Beast coming back out this time, like I say, the Rubik, it is going to be swapping sides now, so is the
Dire
Treant.
team back.
Ember Spirit comes out, and we saw in the first game how well that the Primal Beast did up against the Ember Spirit in that first, Maureen, even though the first game did go in favor of one move, for the first 7-8 minutes before he started to move off and look for picks, Maureen really took it to the Ember Spirit.
10 seconds
Yeah,
remaining.
what people do with the Primal Beast is that they max out the first and the second
5
spell, and
seconds
then they farm the
remaining.
jungle and the lane together. So that's why he had such an overwhelming amount of CS. Of course, it can change things,
Radiant
right?
team
But overall,
back.
the Ember wasn't doing badly. It's not like
No.
Aincrad was suffering. So that's why, you still don't shut him down. You just get a lot of farm yourself, which happened to be good for Malrine in the previous game or in that game, but still not good enough.
Yeah, and the sniper gets banned at this time. Lena's gone as well. Broodmother,
10
Timbersaw,
seconds
Tusk as well as the
remaining.
Death Prophet. This time the Death Prophet doesn't get through in that, the early stages.
5 seconds
So
remaining.
one move. What else are they going to be looking to ban? Would you be surprised at all if they give that respect ban over to Kiritich and that Ursa after that last game?
No, it depends on what they want. So I'm not sure if it gets banned out right now. If it gets banned out right now, it might mean that they want to get a fat offlaner and they're just afraid of the Kiritich Ursa. But overall, their heroes, could deal with the Ursa, could be aggressively postured, are
Dire
gonna
team
close
back.
down a map a little bit. Your towers don't fall, Ursa doesn't push towers, and
Sopokrystato.
so on and so forth. So these two heroes
Radiant
aren't
team
super
back.
afraid of the Ursa. They're afraid of a super farmed Ursa, but they have ways of
Dire
stopping
team
him
back.
getting to that point.
The Ench ban, as well as the Huskar ban. Huskar is an interesting one because, we don't see it that often, but it is an Amiga hero. It does get played every so often by them. Is there any specific reason one move would have wanted to take that out?
Ember Spirit in the
10
mid lane
seconds
suffers
remaining.
against it heavily, heavily suffers against the Huskar.
5
You cannot
seconds
lane.
remaining.
That it's not even like, okay, I'm having a tough time. No, you cannot lane. You just get pushed out of it completely. And then level 3, you either go into the jungle or skip waves in the mid lane, which is not a position you want to be in. So that's the main reason for it. And considering that the Ember is currently in the meta and the Huskar isn't, Huskar is always a cheeky pick, and you always ban it out because I think in pubs it gets pulled out quite often against the Ember, and then you just get demolished.
Yeah, have we actually seen it? I know we've seen it in the DPC itself, but have we seen it in Eastern Europe at all?
Not the games we've casted.
0% win rate.
Is that 0% pick rate? Or
No. Kiyotaka has played it once and lost with it.
Okay.
And that's it. That's all that we've seen in Eastern Europe for the Huskars. So while that number might sound daunting, the 0% win rate, it has only been played the once in Eastern Europe.
Yeah, at least 5 games, then we can really count it. I like Primal Beast in this game more than I liked it in the first game though, because you're up against the Treant rather than having him on your side, right? Because you're very good against the Treant, but having him on your side doesn't really change much for the for the Primal Beast. And we constantly bring it up against the Treant. You want to dive. He's hiding in the trees. The Primal Beast is great for it. So I like what Nemiga have currently for
Dire
sure.
team pick.
Yeah. Just looking as well, so they ban out the Nature's Prophet. The Ench ban for one move makes me think that they might want to go for a Beastmaster. Being able to get the... It's not ban, right? Yeah, no, being able to get the Roar off. If Nemiga, gets to jump in with the Primal Beast,
10
he starts to get the
seconds
Pulverize off, the BKB Pulverize off. Having that Beastmaster that can get the Roar off,
5
stop the
seconds remaining.
Primal Beast in its tracks. As is the name, Master of Beasts, being able to stop Nemiga's engagement that way, I think it would be a really good tool here for one move to look to pick up.
For sure, and Nemiga don't want it because there's gonna be a Treant plus a range hero versus a Beastmaster. It's not gonna be a sniper this time around, but even an SF would be bad enough. So you would be in a lot of trouble. So they don't want to get it themselves, and they pick up a CM, which is also good against the Beastmaster. So let's see if one move really want to take it here.
Remaining.
Yeah, we will see, because there's not really a lot else that...
remaining.
I'm not saying there's a lot else that you can run in the offlane, but a lot else that's going to offer, the BKB piercing stun. I don't think they go back for something like an offlane bat either. I just think that hero at the minute is in such a bad place, so they do pick up that Beastmaster.
Makes sense. And they go for the Gilgear special that is going to be the Hoodwink. I mean, I can't really say special because they haven't been much successful with it, or anything else for that matter. These two teams have mostly been losing their games. But he definitely knows how to utilize the hero. He has been playing it for a very long time, and he was always very good with it. Even when it was added, you could see that he was practicing it all the time. So I like it. You have the Roar, you have the burst damage potential, you have better vision, you have some setups with the Ember as well. Ember plus the Hoodwink can go for kills. And when you look at the supports of Nemiga, they are very squishy. Every 45 seconds, one of them can easily die.
Radiant team back.
We're going to get something... I can't even say a little bit... I used to... the Pudge comes out a little bit different, but Nemiga... We've seen this hero become, again, it's very mainstream at the minute. It is being run. It might fit into niche strats, but it is one of those heroes that teams that alongside the techies do consider more and more. It's not a rarity to see the Pudge come out. So Nemiga picking this one up. And again, this hero, if you get a decent amount of early momentum on it, you stick up stack up on the flesh heaps, being able to run down heroes with the rot, get the control out with the hook as well. The dismember, just to keep heroes in place. Someone like the Ember Spirit, just being able to keep them in place and keep him locked down, stop him from getting away. Nemiga picking up this Pudge, maybe out of left field, but it's still going to be a really impactful hero, I think, here for Nemiga.
I like it. Pudge, in this season of the DPC, especially in Eastern Europe, it wasn't that popular. It only got played once and it won. But just before the start, he was very, very popular in TI. Even after it, we had some third-party tournaments, and the Pudge was just amazing. So it actually is a really strong hero in this game in particular, because the only thing that he really takes damage from once he turns on the flesh heap is the sharpshooter. Everything else doesn't even touch him. So I'm loving it. Plus he has very aggressive supports, and Pudge can be a big problem if he can be set up for the hook. Because with the Pudge, if you start winning the lane, you absolutely crush it. And CM is the best hero to do so for sure.
Yeah, and what do one move then?
10 seconds remaining.
Like I say, CM, the telekinesis coming up from the Rubik as well. It is some good setups for the Pudge. So what do one move want to be taken out? Is this going to be, do you think, looking at this, the offlane Primal Beast, or do you still stick this in the mid lane and put that Pudge in the safe lane?
I think it's a safe lane Pudge for sure. But the Primal Beast, it could be in the offlane, but overall Malrine has played it in the past, so I'm expecting it to be a position 2 Primal Beast. This is a good Primal Beast game, and you want to have that BKB as soon as possible. Nemiga want to ramp up the aggression. You have the Rubik that is strong in the lane, you have the CM that is strong in the lane, Pudge as well. You win the side lanes, you do well in the mid lane, and then you just rush towards your enemies. So yeah, I would prefer it to be a Primal Beast in the mid, unless one move pick up something that's super vulnerable against the Primal Beast, though I doubt that's going to be the case.
The Pudge does all right against the Beastmaster as well, right? Because you've got that hook now that just instantly deletes the balls. Not really super mobile, so you can run him down. I suppose you do have to worry about the bushwhack. Not even worry, but you have to be aware of the bushwhack coming out if you are running down the Beastmaster, because that will stop you in your tracks, quite literally.
This could be a good lifestealer game, though I don't remember Munkushi playing it. Ursa was good as well. So They probably would. Okay, Monkey King makes sense too. Just something that is good against tanky melee heroes, because
Yeah.
you're not getting towards the supports if these two don't die, and you need something that does a lot of damage from one hit. Monkey King falls into that category, so he is solid.
Yeah.
10 seconds
They have a
remaining.
lot of control too on the side of one move, with the overgrowth coming out, steering chains, raw,
5
bushwhack.
seconds
So you do
remaining.
have a lot of anchor points to come out for the Monkey King and that Wukong's command, which could be pivotal in turning the team fights against Nemiga.
Yeah, I like the Mars here for Nemiga. I don't know when the last time that Tvazia played it is, but I like it. Mars would be okay. Lanes well with the Rubik and is one of the only melee offlaners that can actually deal well with the Monkey, because you can always send them away with the spear. Plus, it does give you that ability to take down trees, which is very important for one move. And you don't have to have perfect vision to initiate with
Choose
him, but they
your
go for
hero.
the bat. So they're going straight up for a Monkey King counter. So where did they put it? That's the real question. It's gonna be offlane bat.
Offlane, yeah. I suppose you keep your distance from the Jingu stacks that come out from the Monkey King. You can try and burn him down with the sticky napalm. You can drag him out of the Wukongs with the lasso as well. Again, this hero's looked so bad this tour that I don't really have any belief in the bat.
I don't have belief in it because this hero needs a vision, and you don't have any heroes that give that to you. Plus, you're up against the Beast Smash. That's why I don't like it. Good thing about Nemiga, though,
10
is
seconds
that they
remaining.
drafted very strong lanes and strong early mid game. So if you have 2
5
parts of the
seconds
game where
remaining.
you're super strong and you connect them, you could get to such a high lead that even when the enemies hit their timing, they're way too weak or you're way too strong for them to fight you. So that's the strength of the Nemiga lineup here. It's Snowball, and it's right up their alley. I think this is the most even game that we have in terms of draft. But looking at it, man, I don't know where to go. I'm gonna go for Nemiga. I think they're diving, they're running into the enemies. Actually might work here for them.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna back one move, not just because of the back. The back is a big part of why I think one move, but I think one move they've shown this level of class, as a team, as players coming into some of the series, beating up Darkside, the game that they took against Betboom as well, taking it to 70 plus minutes. When the back is against the wall, they do seem to be able to pull it out the bag, and I think I prefer the one move draft as well. But before we get into that, guys, we are going to be taking a quick word from our sponsors over at EGB.
Bets on esports, bets on streamers, impressive bonus system. Welcome bonus up to $600, cashback, artifacts, regular promotions, daily giveaways. Try yourself as a bookmaker. Great lines. EGB.com, more than just a bookmaker.
Yeah, so getting into this third and final match. Looking at this, we've spoke about how one move can slow down the game. Nemiga, do they need to get aggressive in this game? Do they need to take this game to one move and put them on the back foot from the get-go? Or can they sit back and just let the Pudge find the items, find that farm, get that Aghanim Scepter up before they want to try and look to put pressure onto the side of one move?
If Nemiga slow down in this game, they lose it. That's just how it goes. If they slow down, one move takes the areas, they get there with vision, and what Nemiga have to do is be around the map, create chaos, force TPs, don't allow one move to put themselves on the top lane with the Beastmaster, cover the area with vision, protect the bottom tower for as long as possible with the Treant. You cannot allow that to happen. If that is what's happening, go for the kills. Dive the Treant or just run and kill the Beastmaster. It doesn't matter, either of those two, but they have to be done always with a lot of speed. And I think Nemiga, if their confidence got boosted after the previous game, they are the type of team that can make lineups like this work, and not only that, but also shine.
Yeah, and we can see as well on the screen that Monkey King, he's just hanging around. I wonder do you get aggressive with the Pudge? Once you get skilled up, he's gone for that hook. So they are looking for someone to step up and maybe try and steal out a rune. They've got a ward as well that's going to see Gilga. They might be able to get the dragon onto that. No, okay, no, they don't go for it.
Yeah. You know how scary it can be to go to the Pudge, and also they had good vision. If you look at it, it's ward over a ward there in the river, or seeing the rune on the top lane. So that's That's the reason why you don't want to go there. You can get frozen, you can get hooked, and suddenly you lose your life. Not a good way to start the game.
No, and the Pudge did just throw out the hook to drag the bouncer in a little bit closer to him. Didn't need it, he was walking past it anyway, but just for efficiency's sake, I guess. And
Yeah, you're gonna have the cooldown back, and you don't lose mana when you do hook the runes.
so Kuritic, you know, he is going to be sitting in this lane, and again, up against the Beastmaster. Being able to hook, you can see the Beastmaster as well, started with the axes. The hook comes through Gilga. Moves away from it, didn't even have any award to see that, just going for the hook onto Hoodwink, trying to drag him back close to that tier 1 tower. The Frostbite as well, if that had come out, potentially look for a lot of damage onto the Hoodwink, and only by Gilga moving back does he avoid that.
That was a good try. The thing is that he was still being spotted by creeps, so Gilgir just knew that it was coming his way.
This time though, there is going to be that hook drag back, the tower doesn't get involved, and Afterlife going to be taking a lot of damage, has himself 4 mangoes as well as the 2 tangos. So the regen is going to be available to the Beastmaster if he does get caught out like that, but there's only so many times you can do that before it's going to cost you your life.
Yep, the strength of the CM, when he gets level 2, it's going to be even harder. We'll see if he goes for the Arcane Aura, but considering the 3 mangoes, that's not going to be the case.
No, yeah, they're even going to be able to get this set up here as well. Kuritic doesn't want to throw out that hook, but there is going to be the Bushwhack. The shot comes through as well, the nut shot on the top lane, and Sobat taking a lot of damage, has to back himself away. Mid lane, how is this looking? Aincrad, in terms of last hits, he's going to be behind, but only just behind Malrine. We've already seen this matchup once in the series, and you can see, yeah, Searing Chains comes out, and Aincrad just has to back himself away, because that trample is a lot of damage before you get the remnants to get yourself away from danger.
Yeah, Ember Spirit just has the tools to prevent him from taking damage. Sometimes you can mess up, but if you do everything nicely, overall you're not going to be taking much damage from the Power Beast.
First Blood going the way of Sobat, gets it with the Crystal Nova, and that's the Frostbite sets up into the hook this time. You know, he wasn't able to get himself away, wasn't able to, I don't think he had the mana for the Bushwhack, so the catch out onto the Hoodwink, yeah, he couldn't survive through that, couldn't get himself away from it, and a really nice setup for the First Blood.
The safe lane of Nemiga is so strong, man. I wouldn't want to play against it as a 4, as an offlaner, just way too hard to survive.
Yeah, at least Afterlife, he's finding the levels, he's finding the farm. Gilgit going to try and do what he can with the Acorn shot as well to get the harass out. Control onto the Crystal Maiden, but now Afterlife, the hook comes through. And in fact, does he run him down with a what? The damage comes out. Gilga, he'd already used the Bushwhack, but it looks like Afterlife was already away. And able to get himself out of danger. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane. Bottle's being used. Malrine, he's looking alright with these last hits.
He's doing good. He's doing good. But Aincrad this time around, he's doing better. What I'm interested in is this bottom lane that we're seeing currently. Because for now, Batrider hasn't been able to do much to the Monkey. It's usually level 4 when you become a problem for someone. But that's just the thing. With the Rubik on your side, it's not like you really have the position 4 that is going to contribute much in you killing the Monkey King. You need to do it yourself, and then the Rubik kind of wants to stop the TP, actually.
Munkushi in the trees here, Vazia. He has skill at the Firefly eventually. Maybe if he could have looked to break the trees off, but actually goes for the Courier instead. So going to be taking down Munkushi's Courier. Oh, body blocks coming out. Hellscream, Pantomime, does he get himself away from this one? He's got to run with the Sticky Napalm. Going to start to stack up Vazia with the Firefly. Just going to be able to run him down, and there's not going to be a lot that Pantomime can do to try and keep himself alive there. Yeah, no real way to get out of that once the Sticky Napalm start to fly out.
Really smart way to play this lane on the side of one move. Make sure that the couple of first levels you allow the Monkey King to farm by playing aggressively, and then later on just give your life away. It doesn't matter if it's the Treant dying and the Monkey King getting creeps. I think that Munkushi is gonna be happy.
Yeah, even using the Boundless Strike there to get the last hit onto the range creep. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Malrine going to be taking a lot of damage going towards the top lane though, or at least maybe just towards the bounty rune. Does he want to go onto or move himself back? It looks like he just moves himself back into the mid lane. Yeah, the ward would have spotted it anyway.
Again, we're seeing that slight difference in terms of CS between the two mid laners.
Yeah.
Still, the lanes are starting to be quite rough for the side of one move. Their side lanes especially, and you know what's gonna happen once the Primal Beast starts rotating. It's gonna be even bigger, an even bigger problem.
Yeah, I mean, Munkushi gets the Jingu Mastery off, 2 points into that. But Visor turns around and Gilgir on the top lane. He's going to be killed after they gets the kill onto Sobad. Can they kill off onto Kuritic? Kuritic, though, big tanky boy, the Bushwhack comes out, so are the axes. Level 4, the Beastmaster, no Roar. Munkushi splits, gets the kill onto Vaz here on the bottom lane. But Kurtic taking a lot of damage here up on the top lane.
Oh, Nemiga got outplayed on both of the side lanes that they're winning, and now they're even gonna lose Hellscream in the bottom lane. You come to a point where it's looking like you can't lose the lanes any longer, and on the top lane you make a mistake, and in the bottom lane as well you overdive.
Well, top lane, the Bushwhack comes out, though, gets the rot away punch. Can he chase? He's got that hook. Afterlife just using the balls as a body block. In fact, they might be able to turn this one around, and the axes. Afterlife gets the kill. They might be able to go into Sobat, though. He has a lot of mana, not a lot of health. And it looks like Gilga doesn't want to overcommit, even though the Akon shot, the Bushwhack is coming back up so bad underneath that tier 1 tower. So they don't make a move there.
This is perfect for one move. You were supposed to be losing the lanes. You actually lost the at the start quite heavily, and then you get a couple of kills when it's unexpected, just with your spell usages and your movements around lane 4, forcing the enemies into a mistake. This is a big deal, because when the heroes that should be winning the lanes are actually losing them, that's gonna be a problem as the game goes forward.
Yeah, and like you say, this lane now in the mid lane, Ironcrad keeping it so close. In the first game, there was a level disadvantage for the Ember Spirit, but he's keeping it. In fact, I think he has the experience above the Primal Beast in this lane. Yeah, he's a little bit higher. The Pulverize comes out, but Ironcrad doesn't really care. He said, okay, you've done a little bit of damage for me. I've got my Remnant down, so if there was a major rotation, could still get himself away from the danger.
I mean, it happens. You're farming a little bit more in the jungle with Malrine, but you know the experience, it might be close or slightly into Ironcrad's favor, but the Primal Beast this time around, he has a bigger gold lead than he had in the previous game, to be honest, because when the laning phase ended like 7-8 minutes in, he only had like 50-100 gold more than the Ember. This time around, he has 300-400 more than him.
Yeah, true, but we'll see. We'll have to wait and see if Nemiga make these rotations into the mid lane to try and capitalize on the Ember Spirit, because I think we saw in the first game some aggression coming out. Malrine looking to rotate off the lane, and the Ember Spirit just continued to find the farm, and it kind of came back to bite Malrine in the arse for leaving the Ember Spirit alone for so long.
I think he's gonna have to in this game. His other heroes are very good at murdering people. On either lane, like top lane might be a bit easier, but anywhere you can make it happen, and he needs to start moving, because one move has established some dominance in the lanes.
Oh, they're going to try and go from now as well. The Bushwhack comes out, Searing Chains is going to be there. A lot of damage pulverized with that Frostbite coming through, but Afterlife's going to be close. He doesn't have that Roar, so the Onslaught gets Malrine away to safety, but he did take a lot more damage at Ironcrad. Yeah, Hellscream, he just has to secure the ring. In fact, he could be in trouble now as well. He's already got those illusions down, but the Telekinesis comes out. Ironcrad, how much mana does he actually have to get this kill? Might be able to have enough just to get the dive onto Hellscream. Akon shot, not going to be in range to get a Bushwhack off, but Sleight of Fist, Searing Chains, 3 more seconds. Is it going to be able to get the kill? In fact, Ironcrad, yeah, he's going to be able to close it down and gets it even without those Searing Chains.
The Rubik was trying to get into the tower range for the extra armor to maybe survive the Sleight of Fist, but in the end, no such luck. He turned around and tried to reduce his damage first, but he needed both of those.
Yeah, bottom lane, they're going to be able to get the damage on Vazi now as well. Vazi level 6, but 3 heroes. Pantomim chasing him down through the trees. Firefly going to show him exactly where to go. And Gilga, he wants to follow this, even with the damage from the Firefly. It's not going to be a whole lot on Vazia. He's trying to get himself away. The Bushwhack, it doesn't connect. They might even save the kill for the Monkey King. Munkushi, one more right click, and he does pick it up there. Great for the supports just to scout him through, stalk him through the trees, and let Munkushi catch up to give him the kill.
He was so low that he couldn't stack up the sticky napalms, and when you're going through a level 1 Firefly, you don't really care. It basically does no damage, right? It's like fire burning everywhere, but for some reason you're not affected.
Yeah, the floor isn't lava. It's just, it's slightly uncomfortable. It's like when you get a warm day, and if you stand up for too long, the soles of your feet might burn, but for the most part, you know, you're absolutely fine with it. As Malrine here, level 8. He's had to back himself behind that tier 1. He does have, like I say, about 500 gold above. The pulverizers are coming out as well. There's rotation into the mid lane. Do they have the damage to get the kill, though? There's going to be the Ember Spirit diving himself away, so the Frostbite won't be there to connect. Ironcrad, does he want to come back into this? Because Gilga's going to be close. He might be able to make another move here now, as well as the Afterlife just using his creeps to move into this mid lane. He gets the kill. He throws out the Hadouken. He gets the kill with that Sata Tormentor. And Malrine at least gets himself the Invis rune. But it's just a really nice rotation from the side of one move to put pressure on this mid lane.
Radiant's top
Malrine
tower is
started
under
there on
attack.
the Ember a little bit too early.
Yeah.
Well, let's see if this time it's going to be better.
Well, this time, yeah, Hellscream does move in. The 3 points into the Fade Ball, and Ankrad stuck around a little bit too long on really low health. Gets caught out and killed.
Okay, they're bringing supports to play with Malrine, right? I do want people to be playing around Malrine. I'm not sure if the mid lane is the best one for it, but either way, you have to be running forward. The level 5 Crystal Maiden is very, very powerful, especially against any kind of a mobile hero.
Radiant's courier
Yeah, the
has
Roar
been
comes
killed.
out, but that was just a defensive one here for Afterlife. No follow-up from that. Meanwhile, the bottom lane, Vazia, he wants to chase down Pantomime in the trees. The Flame Break is going to push back, but Monkey King rotates it in. It looks like he's just going to watch his tree friend burn. As Vazia this time does get the kill. Meanwhile, in the river, Gilga takes down the Crystal Maiden, and Ankrad, does he want to go for more? The Searing Chains comes off. Primal Beast, but Gilga, he's not running towards, he's running away. The Remnant, Marine.
Dire's middle
Well,
tower
he might
is
have had the
under
damage to
attack.
take down the Ember Spirit, though.
Radiant's top tower is under
I
attack.
like that in the mid lane, one move put a lot of emphasis on killing the CM. If you lose one hero and the CM is alive, then the chase on will be so good and you're not getting away. So they make sure that this hero dies first, and then really it's hard for Nemiga to start moving forward and constantly keep this December Spirit in place. It's the frostbite that he's afraid of.
Yeah, and you can
Radiant
see that the
are
rotation
scanning.
came in from Pantomime just to refill his bottle, make sure he got the most efficiency out of that there as well. And really, the tree doesn't even want to move towards that bot. Usually when the cores move off into the jungle like Monkushi is doing,
Dire's
you see the
top
tree
tower is
take
under
up the position in the safe lane, that solo lane, get the experience, get the extra farm where you can. But Tree at the minute doesn't want to move anywhere near the bat.
Yep, he doesn't. If he's there alone, he's gonna get dove, he's gonna go down, especially with so many heroes in the mid lane. If Nemiga smell that a lot of heroes are on the bot lane, they're gonna punish anyone else left on the map, and you can't really bring 5 heroes to the bottom lane. It's way too much of an
Radiant's
investment
top
early
tower
on.
is under
No,
attack.
there's a Hawk out here for Afterlife. He's going to break Maori. Can he get himself on top of Afterlife? Afterlife with the Tumbler's Toy, but the Pulverize is going to be there. In fact, he gets some Ancients from that there as well, Malrine. But now, Remnant out. Rubik, do they want to try and make a dive? Gilga's going to be careful of the hook. Sharpshooter tries to get himself up onto the high ground, but Frostbite is still there. The drag down, and Gilga's going to give away his life.
One kill into a
Radiant's
bonus,
bottom
that's what
tower
Nemiga
is under
wants.
attack.
Despite their laning phase not going perfectly as they wanted, it's still not that bad. Vazia, though, it is pretty bad for him bottom bot.
Lasso comes out, but the Firefly, it's already faded off, and
Fine.
Mankushi, he looks to try and chase. Aincrad's going to be coming in. Slider Fist, Searing Chains. This is going to be good. Aincrad, he doesn't even connect. It's just going to be the Searing Chains doing that last bit of damage and taking down the Bat Rider.
I really like Nemiga's approach of just going into the enemy jungle, not focusing on towers. Just make sure that you kill heroes.
Yeah, and speaking about killing heroes, Pulverize comes out again. They're going to be able to catch out the Beastmaster. Afterlife, he throws the Raw onto the push, and now Munkushi rotates in. But do they have enough? There's going to be the Wukong's command, but everybody just walks out
Help is
of it.
coming.
Yeah, bushwhacked though. Munkushi, what damage can they do? There's going to be even the rotation from the tree. Can they stop this Crystal Maiden from throwing out her ultimate? It's going to be a lot of damage coming through from this, but they do eventually get the kill on Sobat. And the freezing field, though, it does rip through. Pantomime was close to going down.
Oh man, Nemiga, if they killed that Beastmaster at the start there, it is a question if one move would have been able to get that fight going their way. But because the Beastmaster barely survived, nice presence of mind to
Dire's
roar
top
the
tower
Pudge,
is under
he got
attack.
out. What happened there is that the creeps
Radiant's
followed
bottom
him, right?
tower is under
The
attack.
Pulverize came out, the Malrine positioned himself in such a way that Kiritich can't get the hook off. But because there were 2 creeps running towards the Beastmaster, Kiritich couldn't get the hook off, and that's why ultimately the Beastmaster survived. So that little thing actually got this full team fight for one move. In the end, the Pudge does get a TP away, so the big boy didn't really die.
No, but he's getting close to all that Ags as well. He's, what, about 1,000 gold away if that, from being able to complete it, which is going to be pretty big once you do get the increase on the radius of the rot. And it's... I mean, yeah, Afterlife has been playing really well. We've seen a couple of times in lane as well. He dropped that ball specifically for the fact that if he got the hook off, if he got hooked, probably would have been his death. So Afterlife, not just on the bottom lane though, I think we have to get the kill. They're going to get the lockdown onto the Bat Rider, and yeah, the Ember Spirit gets the jump in. They call me monologuing here. Hellscream, can he get himself away from this? He's already stolen a spell, so that spell steal is going to be on cooldown. Uses that overgrowth, and the chase is on the bushwhack, comes out, and the Rubik goes back in the box.
He stole a perfect spell. The thing is, he didn't catch the Ember. The Ember was in a sleight of fist when he used the overgrowth, and with the Ember not being caught, the damage was enough for the bat. If he caught the Ember there, it would have been a different story, though Aincrad was coming in from the Fog of War, so he couldn't really know.
Yeah. And
Dire's bottom tower
Ember
is
Spirit,
under attack.
he's only a little bit behind the Primal Beast, but he has kept track. You know, from the laning stage right up until now, it's been maybe about 500 gold behind. And Ember Spirit, we saw in the first game, Mallory, he was getting, I think at one point he was like 7-1-2 in the first 20 minutes or so. Maybe even a little bit earlier. And he's just not been able to have that momentum here, Mallory.
Nemiga, they only got 6 kills. This is not good for their lineup. They're still getting their item timings in a good spot. The drums on the bat, the BKB on the Primal Beast, the Ags on the Pudge. But you need to use those to force out the aggression. Once the BKBs come out from the other side, it's a problem.
Yeah, and it looks like... What can they do? They find the bat again, and the Monkey King is going to get really darn low, but he gets a Primal Spring off into the Wukong's command. And he gets himself a kill. They turn it around. A Monkey. Really well done here from Munkushi. Sobat's going to try and get himself in, though. Munkushi, they're going to try and go, but Anchored on the backlines. He might be able to get the lockdown onto the Crystal Maiden. Frostbite will be used. The Bushwhack doesn't connect. And Sobat, he's trying desperately to float himself away from this one, but the Courier sees him. And now they're even going to be able to get the Monkey King right back into this. Freezing Field doesn't have that survivability offered, and Munkushi gets the kill.
You picked the bat just to fight off the Monkey King, but this is the thing. People have played this matchup so many times in pubs. Everybody counters the monkey with the bat, and you're gonna know exactly how to do it. Plus, you didn't have that great support with you, and the lane didn't go that well for you. Now this Monkey King that should have been countered, that is the win condition from one move, is looking so strong with the Battle Fury. Once the BKB comes out, it's gonna be almost impossible to kill him with the heroes that Nemiga have.
Yeah, you see that Malrine abandoned the jump as well onto the tree. Didn't have the mana to follow up, and Munkushi was close. Gilga in the mid lane just looking for the farm while Ironcrad was back at the fountain healing up. Gilga even gets a bottle charge for his trouble for that, so the smoke comes out after they clean off this creep wave. Where can one move go with this? Did he want to move into the jungle? The Pudge is in the dire triangle, so they're not going to be able to get towards him. He has that, the Aghanims as well. Wants to blink into the BKB, which will be a really big timing for the Pudge, but you can see the smoke still coming through from the side of one move. Not going to be able to find anyone just yet.
Not a single tower has fallen, Rob. Not a single tower has taken any significant damage. That's just the thing. Nemiga were trying to control the entirety of the map, but finally now, when the Beastmaster gets his way, this top tower stands no chance.
I like that Pantomim's going straight in as well for the Guardian's creation, so he's got the survivability for the tower. The dive comes through. Speaking about Pantomim, well, trample damage. Did he want to go for the pulverize as well? He pops the mech, but he's just going to get popped himself.
That's a lot of damage coming off from Mallory. Now he has the BKB. It's time for Nemiga to go. You cannot wait. You cannot allow this game to stall out. You have to be the ones on the aggressive.
Yeah, and Kiritich at least he's trying to step up, but the Bushwhack comes and connects onto the Pudge, and Pudge, well, is there any follow-up from this? The fortification is going to be used for the tower as well. Munkushi doesn't want to come in. Has our Wukong's command if he wants to try and dive this, but Kiritich at the minute, with this rock, cleaning off the creeps, he's going to be able to take down the tower too.
Opening up the map is very important. You have the Primal Beast, you can dive. Your lineup needs to go for bonus kills always.
And the hook away as well. The Bushwhack connected onto the Acorn shot was in mid-air as the hook comes out. So Malrine and Kiritich take some damage from that. But for the most part, was able to get the Primal Beast away with that hook, away from the Bushwhack and away from Afterlife, who could have potentially gone for the Roar and maybe looked to step up here and get the kill onto the Primal Beast.
Usually it's great to have a ward around the mid lane while your tower is up so that you can always set up a good fight around it. But it's very important for one move to have vision there if Nemiga are running towards him, because that's what Nemiga wants to do. That's probably what they're going to be doing, Malrine.
Malrine has to pop the DKB. Perfect timing there on the Overgrowth. Tree waits for it out, and they're not going to be able to catch because of that BKB. But it was a defensive BKB used to get a TP away. Yeah, perfect timing there from Pantomim. You could see him teasing out the Overgrowth, but he didn't commit to it until that onslaught was started. As soon as he starts to move himself away, he gets the Overgrowth. Oh, Afterlife could be in trouble though. They're going to be able to get the drag back, and Sobat claims the kill. Lasso comes out onto Munkushi. But Vazia, is this going to be the best? The Roar was stolen. Turn right back around onto the Monkey King with the high ground dive here with the Ember Spirit. He wants to get himself on top of Kiritich, on top of the Pudge, and the damage. It's going to be able to take down the Ember Spirit, so maybe
he's coming back.
He buys back. Yeah, the remnants. He's got that dive in. Gets that double kill. Going to be so worth it for this buyback here now. Can he get himself out? What was stolen? It's going to be the Slider Fist. He might even be able to get the kill onto Hellscream. And now, Primal Beast. He's in no man's land. He doesn't have that BKB for 40 seconds. One more right click. Afterlife gets the kill. And the TP, the buyback from the Crystal Maiden stops. Because that could have been a full, well, it was a full wipe. And it could have been even more there from the side of one move. So that buyback from the Ember Spirit, completely worth it.
Gilgir's bushwhacks from the low ground were amazing in that fight. Ember's buyback, of course, is the thing that switches the momentum back into the favorable one move, but if Gilgir doesn't get that bushwhack on 2 of the heroes, it's already a big problem. You can see this fight should have went the way of Nemiga, but it was first one move forcing out the BKB of the Primal Beast in the mid lane that makes a huge difference, and then Gilgir just beautiful usages of his bushwhack. And now one move have won a fight that they probably should have lost there, how it looked up in terms of strength, and they will get the rush as well.
Yeah, and you can see that the odds from EGB going in favor of one move. This one here from Nemiga, 4-1 here, and it increases to nearly 4.5-1. And you can see that one move so comfortable into the Roche Pit. No wonder that EGB are giving them the favorites at the minute. Oh, so bad. Designcrad, he doesn't have a remnant to jump to here. This could have been a great bait, mate, to get the lockdown onto the Ember Turret, though. Is it going to be enough damage? Does he get slight fist off? He doesn't. Maybe potentially gets a slight fist, kills Crystal Maiden, but he just couldn't get the timing. And Kiritich with the lockdown there, he get the kill onto the Ember.
Nemiga, they can't stop. They constantly have to move forward. This is the thing, and it's very important to keep delaying those BKBs as much as you can. It's bad enough you're behind 3k gold, but if you stop, if you think we can farm, how are you gonna really win this game in the later portions of it? You're not. So you have to go for the aggressions. It's very important for them to get pickoffs like this.
Yeah, and the timing on that frostbite as well to keep the Ember Spirit locked down. You know, a second later, half a second later, maybe the Crystal Maiden dies, and Aincrad gets himself out. So good aggression coming out from the side of Nemiga. Kiritich again wanted to stack up, go towards that BKB after the Blink Dagger. Top lane though, they're going to be fighting 4v5, maybe technically 5v5 with the mages. They do still lose that tier 2 tower on the top lane. One move, even them backing themselves away. The creeps just deal with the tower.
And Nemiga are stranded now in the top lane. You have to get out of that one. That's not a spot to fight in if you don't have a tower. So that's another little bit of time wasted for Nemiga, where they should have been getting kills. And one move, they are the ones that are on the prowl now. They understand while Nemiga are dispersing, you can get a key kill.
Yeah, and like you say, it did force out the TPs. So Kiritich, he has to walk himself back to the triangle. You've got Afterlife trying to scout out here. The smoke's coming through as well. Are they going to be able to get the jump out? Hellscream trying to play body blockers. He might be able to... They get the damage off to him. They get the stun lock onto the Rubik, but the hook comes out. Kiritich, he wants to keep his team member alive. The sharpshooter, it connects, but not enough damage to kill off the Rubik, and probably no follow-up. The Hawk, it's going to see him move back towards his high ground. Yeah, towards his base, and one move, they don't want to overextend and get themselves caught out.
Very nice pullback from Nemiga from the top lane. They went to the mid lane close to their tower outpost, and then they went into the triangle with the Rubik stopping any kind of smoke coming through. Those kind of situations, you understand that the enemies are going to go for a smoke, but you cannot just go into your base. You have to give them something. And in the end, they don't give them anything. They farm, they go back, they save the Rubik as well, and now go back into the base. So very nicely done.
Yeah, Crystal Maiden playing a dangerous game. They're pushing out that bottom lane, but you can see that one move just aren't interested, moving themselves through the dire jungle, looking for a pickoff. Is it actually going to be the Purge? The Bushwhack comes out. He didn't get the BKB up. He doesn't have the BKB just yet, and now they're going to be able to lock him down inside the Wukong Command Force Staff as well, and Pudge can't get himself out. He's going to be broken. He is going to be killed. He's going to be cleaned up, and so will this tier 2 tower be pressured.
They force him towards the enemies. You have the stinky guy. We don't want him. That's the way it was. At least the Monkey King BKB is going low. You need to get that one low fairly soon if you want to have any chances in the later portions.
Hellscream! No! The Balance Strike, it connects onto 3 heroes. They're going to be able to clean this one up. Hellscream! Going to get himself away from this. No remnant to dive towards because Ember Spirit doesn't have the mana. Oh, that was the perfect Balance Strike there.
Yeah, he didn't even know how perfect it was, but then they spot it, and suddenly they're just running forward. It's a miracle that Hellscream got himself out. He used the Force Staff. One interesting thing that I see on Nemiga is that they have 2 drums of endurance, which I don't think is too good for them. I understand that their lineup, it should have been the one that's running towards the enemies, that wants the aggression, but it didn't work out initially. So this is another, I'd say, gold wasted.
Yeah, and I like this as well, the chase down. Oh, Hellscream's going to try and react. The onslaught comes out. He might get the lockdown onto the Monkey King, but Pantomime, the hook, it doesn't connect. It was just a little bit too short. And now Kiritich gets the blink forward, but it's only going to be onto the tree of Protector. Slider Fist, Searing Chase comes through. Pantomime trying to keep himself alive with the Guardian's Greaves. He will get the kill onto the tree, but did he want to chase for more? They do still have the Pulverize, but it looks like one move going to be away.
No Wukong's commands, you want to go forward now. But
Yeah.
they won't catch anyone. Now it's time to go back, as those cooldowns, they're coming in again, and you're not in a position that you want to be fighting in, especially if one move are going to be coming in with the smoke.
Yeah, I like the initial idea to hold the overgrowth on the Primal Beast to see if you went for the BKB TP away, or he went for the onslaught to try and, gain distance. But in the end, one move went a little bit too far. They did only lose the tree. That's still not a bad trade. I mean, no, okay, it is a bad trade because he lost the hero and didn't get anything back, but it's not the worst hero in the world to lose.
It's still 5 heroes from Nemiga there, and you're getting everyone out in one move. You save the Aegis, none of your cores dies, and you just continue farming. So overall, I'd say one move, we're happy with that one, and they knew that Nemiga couldn't really take a tower off of it. So 1 kill for Nemiga at this point in the game, it doesn't really change anything.
No, Ember needed to be a little bit careful there. There were 3-4 heroes around when he was trying to jump onto the Crystal Maiden. But Afterlife backing him up, has that roar, has his BKB now as well. Went for that before the blink. So you are going to be relying on the rest of your team to do the engage, follow up with the roar. And, I mean, do you want to go for the Hawk, the shard first for the Call of the Wild Hawk dive bomb? Or do you want that blink to try and engage on the Beastmaster?
I'd be okay with the shard, because you don't really need to be engaging if you're one move. If you're holding an area and enemies are coming in, you can place a good Wukong's command. You're gonna win the fight either way.
Yeah, let's see what they can do here now as well. They're going to be able to get themselves right on top of the Crystal Maiden. Crystal Maiden gets cleaned up, and Aincrad's going to be able to secure this one. But they get the last one to the Beastmaster. The Beastmaster's not going to survive through. Mallory with the double kill. Takes down Gilgan now as well. Overgrowth has been used. Chases on Aincrad. Can he get himself away from this one? He's already used that BKB Slider Fist to the... No,
nice!
The drag back! Oh, Kiritich with a pinpoint perfect hook now, and they're going to be able to get the kill onto the Ember.
That's a beautiful fight for them. They want more. They probably won't be getting anything, but this is the thing. One move, if they're initiating like that and their monkey is not in position, you don't have this constant output of damage. You can kill the Crystal Maiden during the duration of your BKBs, but you're not doing enough damage to Nemiga so that they cannot reset. And this is not the fight that you... or not the type of fight that you want to get. If it's Nemiga running onto you, or if you're baiting with one hero with the monkey in the trees, it's perfect. But this kind of a fight, when you're running in, when you're losing your positioning and the monkey can't get in, it is a problem. And we saw just how big of it was. Munkushi didn't even want to get into a fight. He already saw it was bad.
Yeah, the D-Ward coming out here from the Train Protector. So Hellscream's close though. What's he got stolen? It's going to be the Nature's Grasp. So no initiation for him. He could have gone in with a 4-staff. Pudge was nearby. But Pantomim just going to be able to get the D-Ward, get himself out to safety.
See, now the next Roche is the objective that one move need to play around. They've taken down a lot of towers. It's hard for Nemiga to fight there, and they're gonna be running into exactly what we talked about earlier, the Wukong's command. So it's kind of the perfect spot for one move to force Nemiga into a mistake and break this game finally, in their favor completely.
Yeah. Monkey King going for a Skadi. The Ember Spirit, once he got queued up, he wants to go towards that Linken's, but he's going to be a ways away from it here now as well. BKBs, how are they looking on the side of Nemiga? Primal Beast down to 7 seconds. Pudge, 8 seconds, so it's not awful if these fights do break out and they want to try and make something happen. But yeah, one move, they might actually have the position for the jump. They have this ward. They're going to be able to see Mallory, and it's going to be a sharpshooter coming through. Did he actually throw out the...
He missed.
Right. I thought he threw out the acorn shot. I was waiting for that tree to pop up and the bushwhack to connect.
He missed the bushwhack. That's the reason why the Primal Beast didn't get caught. I don't know if you get the kill, but maybe you force out the BKB, so it wouldn't be too bad. Currently in the game, it's much more important for one move to have longer BKB charges than it is for Nemiga. So, if one move are delaying that big fight, they're gonna be okay with it. That's why Nemiga are going forward, especially because Roche is up, and you don't want to allow one move to completely overtake an area.
No, and now smoke drums coming through from Nemiga, and they know the smoke's happening here. One move. In fact, I'm not sure if it was. I think it was underneath the vision of this observer ward on the radiant side of the river, and Nemiga, they might get the catch onto the tree, but no, the jump in, Slider Fist, Searing Chains onto 2. What can they do? Wukong's command is going to be used to even get the telekinesis back, but the roar comes through onto the Primal Beast. Primal Beast taking a lot of damage. He's going to be bounced around by it like a pinball, and they get the kill onto the Crystal Maiden. Bazio will fall. Now Aincrad, he might go for more. Or was that Remnant? It's going to be 3 seconds away. So Aincrad bad. Monkushi wants to chase. Hellscream might be the next target. Kiritic's going to be caught up. Pops his BKB. Going to go for that TP out as they get the kill onto Hellscream, but nothing to go through the BKB. So a really nice fight for one move. And now, if they want to, they can move themselves into the pit.
Dire's bottom tower
Beautiful
is under
positioning
attack.
coming out from Pantomime. He is the one that set up that fight, basically on his own. Even when he got dusted, they didn't find him. So you don't even lose that instant hero. What Nemiga want to do, and you can see it from the Bat's items, he has the Blink, Force Staff, and Boots of the Baron. So he wants to jump, drag someone out. You kill him, and then you start out the fight 4 versus 5. You break the enemy's positioning, you break their ranks, and then you pick them up one by one. The second that doesn't move, that doesn't work, that fight is over. And Nemiga tried to get the fight away from the Roche pit, but you know it doesn't change much with the Beastmaster. It just dies so fast. It's one move from anywhere on the map they can go in.
Yeah, they give the shot over to Aincrad as well, so he's going to have that extra damage with the Fire Run, probably looking to melt the Crystal Maiden. You know, just dropping the Remnant, especially when the freezing fields start to come out. Dropping that Remnant next to the Crystal Maiden, who is going for a Glimmer Cape. Yeah, gone are the days of the Crystal Maiden BKBs. Oh, jump in though, the lasso comes out. Did they get this Hoodwink kill? It looks like they're going to do no follow-up from one move to help out their teammate. So at least they get the kill onto the Hoodwink. Some roast squirrel coming out there for the side of Nemiga.
The good thing about Nemiga's lineup is that they really have good initiation and good ways to get that one first kill. The problem is that they have no vision and they're losing the game in terms of map control as well. So the only place where you can hope to kind of catch the enemies is either your high ground or if one move are transitioning between lanes and being careless.
Yeah. At least...
Dire's bottom
Oh, Aincrad,
tower
I thought he was
has
going to try and
fallen.
dive onto the Primal Beast. You know, at least the Aincrad, after that tower goes down, he was in a position to contest.
Dire's bottom tower is
Afterlife,
under
he's looking as
attack.
well. He actually went for the blink before he got the shard. Maybe thinking that he was going to get the shard off Roche, but giving it over to the Emspirit, just a little bit more important for the side of one move.
He saw. I mean, if your Hoodwink is jumping in with the blink, you need to follow, right?
Yeah.
And they saw in
Yeah.
that fight that
Dire's
didn't work
bottom
out.
tower is
So
under
he
attack.
probably decided, okay, if we are going in, I want to have multiple ways to do it.
Nemiga,
Radiant's top
EGB
tower
giving
is
them
under attack.
nearly 10 to 1. It's going to be 9 to
Dire's
1
bottom
odds
tower
here.
is under
And
attack.
one move looking close to evens to close out this third game. So Nemiga,
Dire's bottom tower
apparently
has fallen.
EGB, the belief is not there.
Radiant's top tower is
Yeah,
under
very
attack.
tough. Even if you would win a couple of fights, how are you actually going to win the game? How are you going to take down towers? You don't have it. Your lineup is reliant on running in and killing people. Now, ultra late game, like super late game, that doesn't really matter because there's so many items in play. But to get there, you need to survive the real late game, right? 35 to 50 minutes. And I'm thinking one move, they're definitely going to be trying to end the game before that happens.
Yeah, and now the smoke does come out from one move. They're looking for something. Crystal Maiden going to be the closest target here. Sobat, does he get himself away? The jump comes in. Gilga, they don't even need a big commitment. They just get the bushwhack off. Sobat, even with the frostbite, Monkushi picks up the kill. Bound the strike there to be able to take down the Crystal Maiden. Well used just to secure that kill.
Awesome, and he's caught.
Do they have enough to kill him off, though? He doesn't have a BKB. So, yeah, Lincoln Sphere is going to be broke, and Aincrad, he still gets that dive in. He's going to be caught out by the... No, it doesn't matter. There was no BKB for Kiritic, so the Balance Strike comes in, and Aincrad's going to be able to get himself away. Sharpshooter will miss, but Emspirit, even out of mana, he was still able to survive through that. Just because the Dismember, it was cancelled off by the Balance Strike.
I wasn't even expecting that jump onto the bat. They just had the Remnant there, and he got on top of him. We couldn't even follow the entire action there because it also happened so fast, with no chance of survival.
But the Roar comes out right before the Lotus Orb here onto the Primal Beast, so he was still roared up, and Afterlife was able to back himself away. And yeah, there's no... If we take a look at the Batrider, he's only just starting to build towards BKB, so there's a Force Staff and a Blink, but there's no Lincolns, there's no Lotuses, there's no BKBs to survive through that yet. No defensive items at all for the Batrider.
Very tough for him to do much there. Still, the second he comes back up, they will respect it. Even though he does not have the lasso, you understand the pullback into a possible hook. You can lose a hero. In a timing that you have currently, you know, still with the Aegis, you want to be controlling as much as you can and get an even bigger lead to get yourself in a point where even if you get a bad initiation or get initiated on, you can turn the fight around in your favor.
Yeah, and Aincrad, he gets that Remnant away, not in danger at all, completely calculated, at the Lincoln Sphere anyway.
He's poking just so that he knows that Nemiga aren't smoking out. That's what his role is there. Just go in. Okay, they're all here, guys. You can do whatever you want.
Hellscream, did they spot the Battle Strike? It does actually connect. He was mid-jump, but the stun, he eats the tree underneath him to get the stun onto both of them. That was a sacrificial play from him. Kushi heads up as well to stun himself to lock down onto Hellscream. Hellscream trying to run himself away, but Enkrad, he gets the kill.
Cut off the branch that you're sitting on, but
the fact that he landed on the
actually
same
good.
tree as well to get that.
Yeah, this is none of us will have this one. The hole will burn, but you will not have this tree. And Primal Beast is caught on the bottom lane. Valorine, he's not okay actually.
No, he does have that BKB if he needs TP out. Afterlife's going to be close, so holding that roll gets the kill onto Gilga, and now the roll does come through. They're going to be able to lock him down. Primal Beast, the right-click damage is going to be able to take Malrine down. Malrine is trying to run himself away, but the Balance Strike, it connects. He could still go for it. Quick onslaught away, but now his BKB is worn off. The root comes through onto Monkey King, but Monkey King, the lasso, they have the lockdown. They might be able to get the kill into the Crystal Maiden, though. Aincrad poking him, and Afterlife, well, he helps out a little bit, but that's going to be Munkushi and Aincrad just pushing away onto the Primal Beast.
That's there was some nice footwork coming in, but Nemiga in the end, they use so many resources and even lose some of the lives. And yeah, you save him, but the question is, are you going to be able to save Arax now?
Are you going to be able to save Kiritich? The Lotus Orb gets used on him. He has that BKB still if he needs it. So yeah, if he really got into danger, he could have popped that BKB. But Aincrad just winded him up, getting close to him and forcing out a lot of damage onto him.
One move needs a level 25 on the Monkey King. We are seeing that they're starting to lack a little bit in the damage department. These heroes can survive even inside of the Wukong's command for a couple of seconds. So you have to be careful there. Once the Monkey King gets level 25, it's gonna be much harder because it's gonna take so much more to escape.
Well, it's going to be the Dismember on the backline, so they're going to be able to get a kill into Afterlife, stepping up a little bit too far. They might even take down the Ancient Black Dragon, just to rub it in.
Yep, kill the Master, kill the pets as well, and now they'll have the gem too. That's quite nice, because Nemiga, we talked about it, they need to have better vision in this game. If they are to win, they need to be the ones getting the right jump at the right time. Considering their lineup currently and what they're playing against, gem is the only way to do so, and they get given one by their opponents.
Yeah, especially with the Monkey King having this celebration now as well. Just being able to see him coming into your team, that could be the difference between winning and losing a fight.
Definitely. I think right now, one move, you want to force out a fight around Roche, right? Control an area. So that's why you're waiting at this moment. It's not like the enemies are going to be pushing all that hard, so you can pull yourself back a bit. Push out the lanes when you think it's safe, and then play around that one. Nemiga, they're the ones that need to break the status quo. They are the ones that need to find the opening.
And you can see the Kiritich not being shy about pushing out the waves. He'll get himself to that farm. The hook comes out, doesn't connect onto Pantomime. But he's going to have a refresher. I thought you would have gone for the shard first. But extra BKB time, a second Dismember right off the bat, for that extra lockdown potential. That could be more of a priority here for Kiritich on the Fudging. Obviously, is with him going refresher first.
I think the idea is you just jump in and you destroy the Monkey King once you're level 25. Of course, he's a little bit farther away from that, but imagine the damage that could come through from the Pudge. Kiritich is gearing up for the late game. That's just it. You need to be able to do overwhelming amounts of damage if you want to win in the ultra late game.
Aincrad's going to so does Munkushi. And doing a little bit of a Sean Connery impression there, show does Munkushi. As Aincrad backs himself up, he drops that remnant. But yeah, Roche, the big man, 20 seconds away. They have that Hawk on the pit as well. How do Nemiga contest into this with the Wukongs being up?
You need to poke and find the right jump with the bat or the right hook. You don't want to run into one move. You have to make sure that that doesn't happen. If you're running into the Wukong's command, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. Munkushi is trying to get level 25 before the Roche. Then it's going to be even tougher.
Yeah, the Scout comes out. The Overgrowth there being used by the tree. They have the lockdown. They're going to be able to take him down here. And Pantomime just caught out of position. 50 seconds. He is dead. Rochan is back up. Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be Nemiga's turn to move themselves into the pit, and now one move they have to be the ones to contest this, or maybe not, just around but not in the pit just yet here from Nemiga.
Nemiga sucks at Roche. They just can't take it. They're aware. Like, if we go for this one, there's going to be so much time for the enemies to prepare. It's more so about Nemiga to prepare the area for a fight than just straight in go for a Roche.
I like that as well from the end. It's really pushing out on the bottom wave, applying that pressure. So, Nemiga, they're inside that Roche pit. How quickly can they do this? I mean, it's going, but Tree back in 10 seconds. Probably going to take a while. Pushback. He connects onto both. They get the roar off now as well. Kiritich full staffed out. Glimmer Cape trying to keep him alive with the sharpshooter connects. They get the kill onto the Pudge on one move. Now the Tree will be coming back. And Pudge has no buyback. Yes, so bad. Trying to do what he can with the freezing field. They have the lockdown onto the Ember Spirit. Ember Spirit, though, he is a big tanky boy. He's surviving all the way through it. And they might even be able to get the kill onto the Crystal Maiden. The Aegis, it gets picked up by Munkushi. So does Roche. They pop out onto the Ember Spirit. Munkushi, they get himself away the buyback. Immediately, Ember Spirit right back into this. They want the kill onto the Primal Beast. They're gonna get the kill on the Primal Beast.
I like when you said it's going, but it's not going well for sure for Nemiga, and Hellscream is just gonna be another casualty. Nothing for him to do there. Yeah, that's... I just didn't like them walking into the Roche pit. You cannot get it fast enough, and you're fighting in an area that is perfect for a Wukong's command. The one spell that you're afraid of, you just allow them to go for that one. And Nemiga, I mean, I'm not surprised they lost the fight, but it's even a bigger disaster that Aegis, everything was taken by one move. Was everything taken though?
Monkey King picked up the... Who got the cheese?
Yeah, I'm trying to see.
Because Monkey King did get the Aghanim Blessing. The cheese might just have been used.
Yeah, it was used. It was used. I just don't know by whom. But either way, yeah, they... Everything from that Roche, one move now have it. And Monkey King with an Aghanims, now you really don't have a damage issue any longer. You know, Nemiga, they would need another 15 minutes to get some items to deal with this Monkey King. Now it's all about, can we drag the enemies back enough so that we can really change something?
Yeah, and if you look at the buybacks as well, it's only the supports on both sides that do have them, which means one move may be playing with a little bit of advantage here with that Aegis. Gold-wise, I mean, Vazia isn't too far away, 150 gold here for the Batrider to be able to have it. So, excuse me, so if he gets a quick pick before he dies, it would be available to him, but on the whole, having this Aegis here and your cause not having buybacks, now the Monkey King does, that is a big advantage. And speaking of the Raw, does he get him? He's going to be forced up to the high ground, and Vazia, he gets out alive.
I'd like for this bunch to buy a shard. You're not finishing off the overwhelming blink. Buyback, you're probably not farming it out. Just get the shard. It's actually quite nice being able to save your teammates, or even, you know, have that 5-second lower cooldown. It can make a difference in a fight.
Radiant's top tower
Yeah,
is
but you can
under
see the
attack.
Monkey King is at level 26 now. It's compared to Kiritich at level 23. You talked about the importance of both carries for that level 25, and Munkushi's just completely won the race to get towards that.
And Kiritich is now, considering the gold lead of the enemies, it's not even close to the impact that the additional Wukong command ring has. So it's, if he had gotten it around the same time, or at least if they had gotten the Aegis and won the previous fight, then it would have been solid, because you're jumping, you're the one with the aggression, you jump in on someone, you just rip them apart with the double the damage of the dismember, or 1.8 times. But now it's just hard. It's hard to get the right initiation, and you're probably going to be doing it on the Aegis.
Yeah, the Hoodwink, they get the dive in here with the lasso. Can they keep this Hoodwink alive? Going to take a lot of damage, and Gilga, he will eventually fall, but look at this, all this right-click damage. The extra ring on the Wukong's command, and they get the kill onto Marin. He has no buyback. Kiritich trying to do what he can with this refresher, that extra BKB charge, trying to keep himself alive. With the dive from Ironclad, the balance strike onto Munkushi, cleaning up, and these are going to be the buybacks. Crystal Maiden. Nemiga, they have to buy back into this, because again, they're fighting into 5. Gilga gets himself right back into this, and the Aegis is still there. And now that the Wukong's command is down, but they want to take this tier 3 tower on the bottom lane. They want to be looking towards a second set of racks. The jump comes in. The balance strike, the leap forward from Munkushi to get right on top of the Batrider, and now freezing field, but they can just move themselves away from this. Dive bomb hits onto the Pudge.
It's done. Nemiga have lost this one, and this is it for their run in the Division 1. They're gonna have one more game, but they have no more chances. There is only one team that can only have one victory, and it's gone.
Yeah, and they needed this to force a tiebreak between themselves, Navi, and One Move. And unfortunately, it just looked like one move again, just a step ahead here in this third game. Kiritich with the hook back onto the answer. They're not going to give up just yet. They are going to fight till the very last with Ironcrad. He's even dropping a remnant inside the fountain, just letting it burn inside the Ironcrad. Remnants in, Hellscream, Wood comes out on top of the fountain. They're going to be fountain diving for this. They are rubbing it in Nemiga's faces. This is, no lads, no, be nice. Not only are you going to relegate them, but you're fountain diving. Oh, come on, you're better than this.
They're better than Nemiga, and they proved it now with the fountain dive as well. Yeah, one move, very clean game. I have to say, in this game in particular, Nemiga needed to be aggressive. And one move, not only did they slow down Nemiga, but in the early mid game, they were the ones that were making moves. They got like 13, 14 kills when Nemiga only had 6, and it was Nemiga who needed to get a kill after kill for their lineup to make sense. So for me, one move, they crushed Nemiga in this one, even though it took some time for them to end it. They didn't really have, you know, the greatest heroes, and the towers were up for the majority of the game, but they just played a very clean game. And even though a couple of fights do go Nemiga's way, they never got into a position where you're going to say, okay, guys, they might actually win the game. It was never there.
No. And that is going to be, like I said, Nemiga, they do get relegated. You know, it puts them 0 and 6. One move on 2 and 5. That is their last match, right? Yeah, 2 and 5. So it's up to Na'Vi now. They've got a series up against VP next. Na'Vi have the series against Nemiga on tomorrow on that last day. Na'Vi need to win at least one of these series, at least one, to force it to tiebreakers. If they lose both, Na'Vi will be relegated alongside Nemiga, and one move will be staying up. So one move, they've done all they can today. They've done absolutely everything they could to try and secure survivability. But Na'Vi, it's still in their hands. They do still have 2 series left to come, and they could potentially avoid relegation, sending one move and Nemiga back down to Division 2.
Na'Vi just need to make sure that the nerves don't get to them. Like, oh, we can get eliminated. And that, if that does happen, Nemiga, who have already been eliminated and who don't care, are gonna crush you. So that is the one thing that they need to make sure of. But overall, I think they have a good chance to force out those tiebreakers.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see because VP, you know, a kind of mid-table team coming into this, a lot of people that I talked to thought that Virtus.pro would be one of those relegation sides. They'd be, you know, down there, but they are safe. So how much they consider this, because they could still be looking at tiebreakers with Hellraisers. If Darkside beat Hellraisers today in this, you know, the final series of the day, VP, if they win against Na'Vi, they could potentially be in tiebreakers to go in towards the major. So
and
it's not. Go on.
They're coming as the favorites against the Na'Vi. So it actually comes down to Hellraisers versus Darkside. Though Darkside, I think they have been looking increasingly worse in the DPC. They started off okay, right? But then they lost some games, you know, that probably they shouldn't have. And I'm thinking Hellraisers are coming in as the favorites there. Plus, Solo, he knows his previous teammate. I think he's gonna be able to read Ramses like a book.
Yeah, and Darkside, again, one of those teams that we thought would have been contesting, completely locked out now from that major. So Darkside, could they? I don't think they could be dragged into No, they could actually be dragged into a relegation scrap,
They
right?
could.
Yeah.
They could. If they lose against if they lose today and Na'Vi wins one game, let's say against Nemiga, it's gonna be a 3-way tie between one move, Darkside and Na'Vi. So it could happen. It's not impossible.
Yeah, so they aren't out of the woods just yet. And we do have that second series to come. So Na'Vi versus VP coming into this. What are your thoughts about this series? You know, VP, okay, the favorites coming into it, but Na'Vi, they've looked all right in, you know, the one match that they did win up against, I'm trying to find the win. Who did they beat up against One Move? You know, they took it 2-1. So One Move, again, one of those teams that looks increasingly better in strength. So quickly, do you think it is going to be VP to take this maybe 2-0?
I think VP are coming in stronger because Na'Vi plays a little bit slow for my taste. And I think Virtus.pro, tactically, they're going to be able to exploit it.
Okay, that is going to be the next series coming up, but we are going to be taking a quick break first. So we'll see you for the second series, Na'Vi versus VP, after this break.